What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of Garments and Tycoons, the show where fashion meets business. I'm your host, Stefan Adams. It's been a minute since I recorded and posted a new episode of Garments and Tycoons. And the reason behind that is because I recently started a new role with Nordstrom on their men's sales team. And so it's just been a matter of figuring out my time management and juggling everything. But I appreciate y'all's patience and giving me time to figure things out. But I just wanted to share that to let you know that I'm not just being, inconsistent. I'm working, making things happen. Another update that I want to share is that I have new colorways of the Steffon Eugene home sweater. I'm wearing one right now, black with the white logo. And then I also have another one that's white with the black logo. So, very, very exciting times right now for the brand. Working at Nordstrom helps with visibility and raising the brand awareness because best believe every day that I'm working, I'm wearing one of the colorways of the short sleeve home sweater. And one of my favorite things when I'm building connections with clients who come in there is when I gear the conversation to my brand and they realize that this is from my brand and they say, "Oh man, I noticed your shirt, but I thought it was something that you bought from out of here." Like that really makes my day. So, yeah, man, we working. But on this episode, I want to talk about the power of trade shows. So, I be having a lot of people who are aspiring fashion designers themselves or whatever often ask me like, "Yo, how did you get started? How did you find your factory?" And simple answer, go to a trade show. That's it. You don't have to fall for none of these traps that these different people on social media be putting out there, like join my masterclass, blah, blah, blah. All they gonna do is tell you some information that you can find online for free. So please don't fall for it. If you simple game right here, free game right here, go to a trade show. So let's explore the world of trade shows real quick. And let's start off with the definition of a trade show, which is an exhibition at which businesses in a particular industry promote their products and services. So, fashion trade shows are large scale events where industry professionals come together and do business with each other. So most trade shows are business to business. Unlike, so if you're familiar with Complex Con, that is sort of like a trade show, but the difference is like at Complex Con, as a consumer, you can go and you can purchase goods. At these trade shows that I'm talking about, is business to business. And so let's explore the differences within the business to business trade shows. So there are typically two different components. You have sourcing and selling. On the Within the sourcing component of a trade show, you as a designer would attend the sourcing trade show to meet with factories who actually make the garments that you're trying to produce. You get to network with them and, meet them in person, hand to hand contact, and you get to feel the samples and the fabrics that they offer. And typically, sourcing trade shows are free. You got to pay for your own flight or whatever if you've not in the city where they're taking place, but the attendance is typically free. And then on the selling side, you as a brand owner, you'll pay a fee to exhibit. You'll have a booth and you can showcase your product line, and will retail buyers and boutique owners or whatever will walk the floor, and you can meet them so that you can present and showcase your goods to potentially get carried in their stores. So now let's talk about notable trade shows that happen here in the US. I mean, trade shows happen globally, but let's just focus on the US. You have Tex World USA, for example. I actually attended this one in January of 2019. So Tex World happens in New York City at the Javits Center every January. Then you have another trade sourcing trade show that's called Sourcing at Magic. This one takes place twice a year in February and again in August. And it happens at the Las Vegas Convention Center. I have yet to attend this one myself, but it is on my radar to attend in the near future. And then, so again, going back to both of the trade shows that I just mentioned, Tex World and Sourcing at Magic, all sorts of factories who produce all sorts of different categories: jeans, shirts, polos, shoes, you name it, socks. All of them, all these different people are there from all across the world. But then there are also some trade shows that are more niche and they focus on specific categories. So, for example, there's a trade show called Curve Expo. This one specializes in intimate apparel and swimwear. So, if you are a designer who specializes in intimate apparel and swimwear and you watching this, definitely tap in with Curve Expo. That one takes place in LA and New York. So now let's move on to the selling component of trade shows. Again, Magic. So Magic has a selling component and then they also have the sourcing component. Agenda is a legendary one. And then there's also Liberty Fairs and Project. I think Liberty Fairs is no longer around and Project is still around, or it might be vice versa. I can't recall which one. But a fun fact, a quick fun fact: both Liberty Fairs and Project were both founded by Sam Ben Abraham, who is a founding partner of the Kith brand with Ronnie Fogg. Sam and Sharifa Murdoch, who is also a legendary fashion industry professional, who also currently works with the Kith brand, they both co-founded Liberty Fairs and Project. I intend on doing episodes on each of these individuals in the future, so stay tuned. But, let's talk about the benefits of attending trade shows. Kicking it off with networking opportunities. You get to network with factories. You get to network with fellow industry professionals. You just never know who you meet and how they can positively impact your career and your brand overall. Another benefit, learning opportunities. Often these trade shows will also have workshops and speaking panels taking place as well. So going back to my experience with Tex World, when I attended that one, I also was able to participate in a few workshops where I was able to network and meet some cool people who I'm still connected with on LinkedIn today. And then of course, like we've been talking about, sourcing products. This has been my primary focus with trade shows thus far. And again, you get to have that face to face interaction with the factories and you get to feel the quality of their products. And, depending on your people skills, you get to even negotiate pricing. So, those are the three top benefits, in my opinion, of attending trade shows. So now let's focus more on exhibiting at a trade show. Let's focus on that a bit. So for a brand like myself, a brand owner like myself, I would pay a fee to exhibit Stefan Eugene. I'll have a booth and I'll be able to display my product offerings from Stefan Eugene to boutique owners and retail buyers that'll be walking around. And the hope and the goal is for them to, take such a liking and interest in myself and the brand that they purchase, they write purchase orders to carry my products in their store. So, thus far, I have not exhibited at a trade show, and here's why. Over the past 9, soon to be 10 years, because Stefan Eugene becomes a 10-year-old brand this coming September, I've been highly, highly focused on being direct to consumer. That's been super important to me because in my opinion, that's how you get the most profitability as a brand owner, by selling direct to consumer, and then I get to control the customer engagement. You don't get to do that often with um retail retail stores that you partner with. But shout out to my guy Colin from Kicking It ATX. We recently had a conversation where I was sharing my vision with him, and he was like encouraging me to still entertain exhibiting at a trade show to secure stockists to carry Stefan Eugene and use that as leverage to still grow as a direct to consumer brand. And I received that. I'm folks. So now I'm open to attending, and I think it's time. Now I've been focusing, specializing in socks, but now I have the knitwear tops. So now I feel more equipped and ready to go down that route while still being focused on strategy, because it's all about the right partnership. I don't want to just be in any store just to say that I'm in a store. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much been my personal experience with trade shows. And, just to offer some tips, if you do decide to attend a trade show, please, please prepare ahead of time. Have a clear goal before you go. Are you going to source products? Or are you going to focus mainly on networking? Or are you going to exhibit your brand? Knowing your purpose and why you're there will just help maximize your time, because it's super easy to get overwhelmed when you're at these trade shows because there's so much happening at once. Stay organized, take business cards, a notebook, and plan for which booths you'll want to visit ahead of time if possible. And then most importantly, follow up. When you make these connections with these different people, shoot them a follow-up message, and you just never know. Like I said earlier, you never know who you meet and where that connection can take you, or even how you can help somebody, because we often forget about that part as well. But for my closing thoughts on this episode, man, trade shows are a vital part of the fashion industry. Whether you're sourcing materials or building your network or, exploring retail opportunities to carry and expand your brand, trade shows are just crucial for each of those things. And again, while I've mainly been focused on sourcing thus far, I am excited for future possibilities as a brand exhibitor. So stay tuned because I'll be sure to include you all on that journey as well. But yeah, man, don't fall victim to these scam artists, man. Attend a trade show. Just do some Googles on everything I just talked about. I'll try to include links and everything like that. But yeah, you got this if this is what you're trying to do. But if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. If you found it to be insightful, informative, subscribe, comment, show some love. Tell a friend to tell a friend about Garments and Tycoons. Um, yeah, and like I said earlier, I'll be working to remain consistent. So I appreciate each of you who have subscribed and are invested in me and the brand overall. On the next episode, I want to dive into the world of the creative director title within fashion. It's one of the most coveted titles, and it's like the driving force of the fashion industry right now. So I want to talk more about it, like the origin of the world, the impact that it has, and even like the secrecy of their salaries. So stay tuned for that episode. And yeah, again, I really appreciate y'all who are supporters, and stay tuned for the next episode. And as always, may all your pain be champagne.